Hey everybody, welcome to another YouTube video. In today's video, I want to talk about what I consider to be the primary productivity hack that I've utilized to build a multi-million dollar a year business, in my early 20s, while being newly married, as you can see, kid on the way, having a pretty good life outside of the business even. And I just want to talk about what is called sort of the law of constraints. So this morning, I was up at 5:30. I went to the gym, got a workout in. I have what I have planned today written down for what I'm supposed to do outside of the calendar. And my day ends sharp at 4 p.m. And so when I say sharp, that's really the whole point of this video is what I mean when I say that. What I mean is I purposefully dedicate 4 p.m. to being the moment when I stop doing any inputs into my business. So why is this? And why has this been so helpful? Well, for one key reason, that's called the law of constraints. So the best example that I can use is actually my mom. She's an abstract painter, so she's an artist. And her art studio is actually right in here, so I'm with my parents for a minute. And what's really neat is some of her best artwork is the artwork that's done with a limited set of colors. So she chooses like 6 colors, and once she's got these 6 colors, she, then decides to build something off of them. So you kind of have an end in mind of some sort, an abstract end in mind, and then you build in constraints. And then it forces you to create something beautiful. And actually, to innovate with your time and with your energy and with your efforts. And so how this applies to business owners is I've seen a lot of people who are at that startup stage, which I consider the startup stage to be pretty much anything beneath a really solidified 10, 20 million a year business. Like anything beneath that, I would consider you at the startup stage. And, I consult with clients of ours who we help get from like that 100,000 a year to that million a year level. And one of the first things I look at is this, because I want to know that they're not giving themselves permission to do work that doesn't matter. So when you give yourself permission to work all the time, you give yourself permission to do work that doesn't matter. And this is a quote that's really stood by me. So one of the reasons why I've been able to move so quick and build something is because I actually limit my workday. So I start with a limitation, 4 p.m. And I don't start until 9 a.m. So I'm up at 5:30, but I kind of, putter around for a while. Gym, food, kind of, listen to a book and just, talk to my wife and whatever. And then about 9:30 sharp, I'm working. And then I go from 9:30 to 4 every day, and I stop working, which sounds super counterintuitive to a lot of entrepreneurs because it's almost like, all these entrepreneurs, what they want to do is they want to work. They think that the harder they work, the more results that they're going to get. But that's really just not true unless you are the current constraint in your business, which if you're an entrepreneur, really the constraint is your ability to make really good decisions and keep a clean head and focus on the important. So it's not about how hard you work, it's about how focused you are on the important things. So you can work very, very little, but be focused on important things that actually move the needle and get more work done than the person that works 12, 14-hour days, but they're doing things that don't actually move the needle. So to summarize this video, and it's a very short, just very simple, clean video. A, clarify the important and get very, very clear on the important. What is actually absolutely necessary to get you to your goals? To start with an abstract end in mind or defined end in mind. What is absolutely necessary to get you to those goals? What is negotiably necessary? You should probably just delegate or offload that. And then what's just not necessary? And then just stop doing these things. And then put a lock, an end time to your workday, which for me is typically 4 p.m. And then I'm done working. And then usually that time is just with my wife or whatever else, right? And this gives me the ability to it forces me to make my workday meaningful because of how badly I care about the goal. So hopefully this makes sense to you. This has been the law of constraint and working backwards from an end. Because really, I see it all the time. People actually create businesses because you start working 12-hour days, your business just starts to expect 12-hour days from you. And because really your business is just a series of relationships with your team, with your clients, with your audience, with your whatever, so whatever you give it, it's going to start to expect from you. And I'm not saying this to say that you know, what I'm against is this relationship with your work of like getting the most out of it for the least in. I'm not saying we should be selfish. There's a difference. I'm actually saying that we should be intentional with the time that we give it. So just like I wouldn't tell you, if I were giving advice to somebody like a married man, I wouldn't say do as little for your wife as possible so that you can get like sex, right? I wouldn't say that. That's a stupid piece of advice. Really, you should be very intentional with the time that you give her, and in the time that you're with her, do things that serve her. In the same train of thought, this is how you should handle your business. Be very intentional with the time you give them, or it, and be very intentional with the things that you do during that time. And in this way, you will begin to create a much more effective workday. Maybe not more productive. You won't maybe get more things off your to-do list, but you will be more effective. You will move closer to your goal at the end of the day. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this short video, and I'll see you in the next one.